if you've ever filled journals with words but felt stuck turning them into a song, or if you have music that you love but you freeze when it's time to add lyrics, this episode is for you. Today I'm sharing a simple way to move from raw language into song lyrics without forcing meaning or perfection. So let's begin. Welcome to Singer-Songwriter, a space to reconnect with your voice, your music, and the songs waiting to be written. I'm Lainey, singer and songwriter, voice and creativity coach. If you've ever dreamed of writing and singing your own songs, but doubt or perfectionism keeps getting in the way, then grab that notebook full of ideas. It's time to open your voice, trust your sound, and express yourself freely. Your songs are waiting. Let's bring them to life. One of the most common questions I get from singer-songwriters is about process, the creative process of songwriting, as in like how songs actually take shape. Some of you are natural writers. The words flow so easily and you're naturally drawn to language, to words, and how they play together to tell a story. Maybe the words come easily, but then turning them into song lyrics feels confusing or overwhelming, or, when you think about adding music to it, it's just so intimidating you don't know where to begin. Others have melodies and chords, but when it comes time to add words, everything just feels stuck. Nothing seems to fit, or it feels forced. Today we're talking specifically about starting with words and how journaling can become that raw material for song lyrics, and also how shaping happens over time. And just a quick note before we dive in. If you ever feel like the words are there, but your voice feels hesitant, or the music is there, but the lyrics just aren't landing, that's often where vocal support and songwriting meet. And my vocal breakthrough sessions are a beautiful space to explore that connection with creativity, that connection between the voice and the words, the singing and the songwriting, the creativity, the creative process, and the opening of the voice as your musical instrument. So if you're seeking that kind of support to marry these two, the singing and the songwriting, and put it all together, I invite you to book a session with me and we can move through it together. You can learn more at reawakenyourvoice.com/coaching, and I'll also put that in the show notes. So as I said, there are typically two kinds of songwriters. Some writers start with words. They're naturally drawn to the language, the story, the words that express the emotion. And then there are other songwriters who start with music. The music is where they feel at home, and there's ease there with the melodies. And once it comes time to add lyrics, that's where they get stuck. And I will say there's also an in-between of, like, sometimes the words come, sometimes the music comes. Every song is different, and every songwriter is different. As you go deeper into your practice, you will find what works for you and what doesn't, what feels natural and what doesn't. And it also can shift at different times depending on the day, the mood, the vibe of the song. This is creativity we're talking about. So we flow with it. We open up to it and we flow. We see where it takes us. However, there are specific practices, tools you can use, ways of approaching the process that can kind of demystify that creative flow and give you something tangible to work with. So we're going to talk about that today. And, I will say that almost everyone gets stuck at the bridge between the music and the words. That's what I love about singing and songwriting in coordination with one another. There is the singing voice and there is the creative voice, and they join together in this beautiful dance to form a song. And that's what you're doing. You are orchestrating this story through emotion. And that emotion is evoked not only through the music itself, but also through the words and the way you piece them together. So you are the artist with the paintbrush and the tapestry, but that can also get a little overwhelming. I got to do the music and the words and put them together. How does that all work? Sometimes it feels easy. Sometimes it feels hard. Welcome to life as an artist. So if you are getting stuck at that bridge between music and words, whichever side of it you're on, just know that getting stuck here doesn't mean you're doing it wrong or you don't have what you need to bring this idea to life. It simply means that you're at the shaping stage. You are shaping the words, the music, the story, all of it. And that's a fun place to be. Lyrics are shaped. Most of the time, they're not fully formed when they come through. I have had miraculous experiences where a song comes through beginning to end, all of it at once. That's amazing and a special moment. But it's not everyday songwriting. It's not how it usually happens. Normally, we have to take the time to sit with it, to shape it, to form it, to look for little traces of the song and weave them together. So just know you're not alone in getting stuck. This is a beautiful place to be, the shaping stage. So let's talk about how journaling can lead to song lyrics. Keep in mind, this is not the only way that lyrics can come through, but this is a really powerful practice to instill that will allow the words, the language, the stories that are already in you begin to rise to the surface. Journaling does not automatically equal song lyrics. The journaling is the raw, honest, unfiltered language that kind of stirs up something in you or helps you clear away the stuff that isn't for the song and find the core of what is. But the lyrics are chosen language. Like it's not just the free flow, let it all out journaling. It's once you do that, then you look and you find what speaks to you. You choose it. You pick it out. like you're sifting through, mining for gold. You're looking for the little nuggets. A lot of stuff passes through the holes, the filter, whatever that thing is. The sifter thing. Okay. But there will be golden nuggets in there, and those are the ones you choose, you pick out. And it's not about saying everything. It's about choosing what to say and how to say it. So here's the process moving from journaling to song lyrics. So the first step is collection, gathering ideas. So you're not really in creation mode yet. You are just collecting ideas. This can happen in so many ways. You can have little scraps of language, voice memos, little things that you've written down in your notes app. This can come from journaling freely. It's not about structure. You're not editing. You are not writing with a song in mind. You are collecting ideas. You can do this by journaling freely, free-flowing, or collecting little ideas that pop up throughout the day. It's kind of like gathering inspiration. Wherever that shows up for you, collect it, capture it, hold on to it. You're collecting ideas. Now, secondly, step 2, you want to take a step back. Yes. Create some distance between you and the raw material, the raw ideas, before you begin to shape it into the song. So don't shape it immediately. Come back later, detach yourself from it, almost as if you didn't write it. Look at it with fresh eyes and kind of a neutral perspective. This is especially helpful if you are an overthinker, you have a tendency for perfectionism. There's no need to push it out before it's ready. So take some time and space to kind of sit with it, let it breathe, and then you'll come back to it. Step 3, choose. This is where you get to choose what of these collected ideas really sparks something in you that you feel drawn to write about. So go through your writing, go through these little snippets of ideas here and there, and you can underline the lines that have an energy to them. They just come off the page, or they lead you into a branch or like an idea. Notice any repetition, things that keep coming back, themes that keep coming through. Look for images. Is there something there that evokes an image in your mind? Because as we go to write lyrics, we really want to tap into not only sound and the music, but the imagery, creating visual landscapes within the lyrics. We're tapping into the senses. But of all of these ideas that have an energy to them, choose one, like one small section, one idea. And that is like the song seed that you begin with. Because there's something to it that leads you deeper. That's what you're looking for. It almost starts to create itself when you sit with it. Now, how do the lyrics meet the music? So if you have words but no music, read the lyrics out loud and notice the natural rhythm of your speech, the rise and fall of the line, the phrasing, the natural language. And listen to how it intensifies or becomes softer, how it wants to be in a deeper register in the voice, or how it wants that energetic rocket launch to the moon. and you want to soar through the higher parts of your range. What is the language calling for? Let the melody follow the speech. If you have music but no words, listen to the feeling of the music. And take out your journal and write in response to the sound. Whatever you're hearing, whatever you're feeling, write in your journal in response to that. So you're pulling language from emotion. It's from a heart space, not the mind. You're not working with logic at this stage, because that'll normally feel forced, flat. But if you're writing from emotion and you're in that heart space, that's where it has the potential to bloom into a song with words, with music. I have been in both of these circumstances, both of these situations where a melody comes to me, but I have no idea what the words are. I don't know what it's about. It's just this melody that is ringing in my ears. When the music comes through, I collect it, I capture it. I'll record it on voice memos, like this melody. There's something to it. And then later I'll go back and I'll listen to it. I'll sink into the feeling of it. And I'll just write as I listen. But I'm putting distance between the moment that the melody comes to me and the moment that I begin working with words. Unless, of course, a word comes through. This is creativity. So, yes, there are things that we can break down step by step, but you always have to be open to the magic. Other times, I'll just start writing. I'll have a line that comes to me in my journaling, and I'll think about what comes next. What's the next line? What do I say about this? Is there more I can say? Is there something related to it that naturally it leads to this next line? And, sometimes I write out a whole song and I don't know where it's going melodically, harmonically, but it's like a poem. It comes through like a poem. And when the words come through first, it's about zeroing in on the story. What's the story you're telling? What is the emotion that story is evoking? And that informs the vibe of the music. But also, like I said, if you read those lyrics out loud, just like spoken poetry, there is an ebb and a flow, a rise and a fall, a natural way that the language moves, it's almost like it's already there, and you just have to open your eyes to see it, open your ears to hear it. Often it's through the process that we find meaning in the song. It's through the writing of the song that healing takes place, that a perspective is shifted. Maybe what you initially wanted to say turned into something different because you were changed in the process of writing the song. So this giving it space, approaching it from different angles, playing with it, it's through that process that the song is shaped. And it's shaping you at the same time. So release that need for knowing what the song is about before you start writing it, or knowing how you want it to end before you even begin. It is an act of faith to write a song. You are stepping into the unknown, and you're opening yourself up to possibility. It's an exploration. But this is also what makes songwriting feel vulnerable, is that you are stepping into the unknown. It's kind of like letting go of control and letting the music guide you, letting the lyrics guide you, letting the story lead you deeper into it. So how does this fit into a songwriting practice? Well, journaling can be the whole practice some days. Absolutely. You just sit down and let words flow through you onto the page with no agenda. It doesn't have to become a song. Not everything is going to become a song. Not everything you write will become a song. A lot of it is clearing space for the song to reveal itself. And then the shaping can be a separate session altogether. After giving that journaling some space to breathe, looking through and finding the things that jump out at you, that seem to have their own life, like a life of their own. They start to open up if you sit with it. Then the shaping of that idea can be a separate practice session altogether. Nothing has to be finished in one sitting. Every piece of the process is part of songwriting. The writing the words, the singing the melody, it all counts as part of your songwriting practice. It's multidimensional. And I love that. So have fun with this and lean into the process that feels natural to you, that you're drawn towards. And all of the little bumps can be smoothed out along the way in the process. But at the end of the day, this is a creative process. So try different approaches and see what works for you. And always remain open to the magic, to the unexplainable moments of clarity and inspiration, because they will come. Spend time in your practice, your singing practice, your songwriting practice, your musical practice, your writing journaling practice, all of these things. Spend time with your voice, your singing voice, and your creative voice. You will develop a deeper connection to your instrument, to your own voice, your own creativity, and the way that it expresses itself through you and your songs. It's a practice. If this episode brought something up for you, especially around trusting your voice or letting words flow more freely, you can explore that in a vocal breakthrough session. It's a supportive space for singers and songwriters who want more ease, more connection, and more freedom. You can learn more at reawakenyourvoice.com/coaching. I'll also put that in the show notes. Most songs are not written all at once. Like I said, it happens. It's an amazing experience. Stay open to it. You never know when that's going to happen. But most of the time, it doesn't all come at once in all its pieces. Songs are written in stages, phases. And this is one of them. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening, friend. If this episode moved you or inspired you in some way, would you please leave a review on Apple Podcasts or share this episode with someone who's been praying for a vocal breakthrough? Until next time, keep nurturing that song in your heart. Lots of love.